Monday, May 19th. Welcome back to Damon Bruce Plus, brought to you by Ike Sandwiches. It is great to have you back here. I hope you had a fantastic weekend. Team Purdy had a really good weekend because Friday we learned Brock Purdy's deal is done and our long regional nightmare has officially come to an end. Good for Brock Purdy, good for the 49ers, and bad for anyone who doesn't understand what just happened here. You know, there are some people who are just so dead set against Brock Purdy being the successful 49ers starting quarterback that they're not going to wrap their minds around it even having a chance to happen, even though that's exactly what has happened so far. Again, if we were just playing the simple silhouette game, player has done this and put all of Brock's accomplishments into that silhouette and turned around and said, do you think you want to sign that player? Not knowing who that player was, you'd say, yes, you signed that player. But then, oh, it's Brock, and he was a seventh rounder, and I was told to not like him, so I don't. Not only is this a good deal for Brock Purdy, it's a great deal for the 49ers. A lot of people said, well, I like Brock, but as long as he's not one of the highest paid quarterbacks in all of football, he isn't. I mean, he's in the top 10, but of course that's where he's going to be. But he didn't reset the market. He's not making more money than Dak. So people just need to calm down. Brock Purdy is not going to be taking a part of the cap percentage that makes building a roster around him prohibitive. It's not going to happen. There are a lot of people applying old anxieties and old math and old numbers, which used to be sacrosanct, to this situation, and people just got to chill just a little, like they seriously do, just a little bit. Anyways, it is great to have you here. Please hit like and subscribe. A thumbs up goes a long way to pushing the video out across the algorithm. You all know this. I always like to see when the full squad is in the house. Good to see regulars. Fred was on it early this morning. He was in here hours ago talking about his wake and bake up. Aggressive, Fred G. Muy agresivo. But it's great to see so many of you. And look, it's going to be great to see just about every single 49er player reporting for training camp. That's what it really looks like is going to happen here. Are we talking about 100% participation? You know, the 49ers walked away from 8 starters. They've got 18 rookies right now on this team, 11 of them draft picks, 13 less than household names coming in during free agent. And there's a lot of new guys that need to understand how this team does things around here, the culture, the work ethic, the playbook, just knowing where you need to be successful on this team. An awful lot of that needs to be installed into a whole bunch of guys and having the right guys to set that tone, whether it be Trent Williams or Nick Bosa or Christian McCaffrey or Brock Purdy. Having those guys around, I think, means more in this year than it did in years past. Look at it this way. They tried to pretend it didn't mean a lot in years past, and it did. You know, the Brandon Ayuk contract drama, what good did it get you? Having Trent, holding out or holding in or whatever, just him not being ready to go, it kind of lingered all year. The Nick Bosa not being ready to go lingered throughout a year. It really did. Hopefully there won't be much lingering because everybody is just ready to go from day one. And if you're really asking, like, what's the one thing that the 49ers get to bring to the table from this offseason, even though there's quite a bit of turnover, it is continuity among the guys that matter, the guys who really have to take step forwards this year, that offensive line, these wide receivers. They've got to come into week one raring to go because a quick start, I think, is part and parcel of this year going in the direction that you want it to. Ricky Pearsall needs this continuity. He needed Brock out there, snap one, day one of training camp. I think that, Juwan Jennings needs this. To an extent, Christian McCaffrey working his way back in needs this. I think Kyle Shanahan needs this. I know that Jordan Watkins and Isaiah Nayer and Jacob Cowing really needs this. Like Jacob Cowing, last year one, not a lot of year one success really anywhere amongst the Niners wide receivers. So year two, it better start fitting together or you're going to beat Dante Pettis. I hope you're better than Dante Pettis. He really needs this. Tariq Owens needs this. Junior Bergen needs this. All the newcomers having Brock's first voice in that huddle, first huddle they duck into. That's important. It really is important for the 49ers. I believe it. If you choose not to believe it, then you go right ahead. I think it matters. I really, really do. The big bit of news that got attached to the Brock Purdy contract news, again, broke late on Friday. By the way, again, this news breaking late on Friday, that's not coincidence. That's by design. The Dallas Cowboys would have broken this news live on SportsCenter, 9 a.m. on Monday. They would have wanted the most attention and high-profile headlines attached to this, where it felt like the 49ers just wanted to slip it in under the table, and they didn't want much fanfare, and Brock didn't want to make a big deal out of it, and they didn't want to make a big deal out of it. When really, I mean, had the 49ers come out and everyone's learning about the details of this contract, a lot of people probably would have began their show saying, man, Team Purdy left a little on the table. You know, this is a really good deal as far as the 49ers are concerned, and it's a really good deal as far as the Brock Purdy is concerned. We got two winning entities in the same negotiation. I know a lot of people have been browbeaten to believe that that's not possible. It happened. This is good. It really is. The no trade clause, I found out it's more unique than I thought it was. Believe it or not, there are only 8 no trade clauses worked into NFL contracts, all of them quarterbacks. Brock Purdy now joins the list of Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Trevor Lawrence, Jared Goff, Jalen Hurts, and Kirk Cousins as the only dudes in the NFL with a no trade clause in their contracts. Great, but also it prevents from happening only something that probably wasn't going to happen. So, you know, if it's mental security, if it's an assurance that Brock was looking for and he's got it, great. But would it really change business? Because look, if he's playing well, you're not trading him. Duh. If he's playing poorly, well, no one's going to trade for him at this price point. So you're preventing something from happening that probably wasn't going to happen no matter which way the coin lands. Well, what happens if the coin lands on its side? Not heads or tails, but like lands on its side straight up like this. Well, then, you know, you're living in a universe where you don't know the end of how, you know, Inception ends. And I can't help you there. I don't know what happens when that happens. But you know, if Brock is just stunningly average throughout all of this, I guess the raging debate, should they have, shouldn't they have, will just continue. If he's really good, there's going to be very little left to complain about. And if he's really bad, yeah, everyone who's, you know, whole point was walk away, walk away, walk away, as if he'd been Daniel Jones. I guess you'll look right in that moment. But in this moment, I don't think it's a bad thing at all. It's a good thing. Again, the no trade, whatever. What I really like about this deal, and what the Niners love about this deal, is that there is a guaranteed value of $181 million, with $165 guaranteed in the first 3 years. Fully guarantee $100 million signing bonus. $165 is going to come to Brock, so he's going to get a lot of money early. Now, a lot of quarterback contracts, when you look at them, there is a digestible price in the beginning that gets measurably larger the deeper you go into the contract. And then those last few years of the contract are such poison pill built-in cap figures that it's suggesting you're either going to walk away with a cut date before you get to this point, or you're going to have a renegotiation instantly get penned on the itinerary. This is a deal that basically pays Purdy $50-ish million a year all the way through. It's not like, you know, this is year 1, this is year 2, this is year 3, this is year 4, year 5 is up here. It's not like that. It's not like that. It is, if you think that this is an absolvable, I guess it's kind of the same thing. If you think that this cap number is friendly now, a few years from now, it's going to be very friendly. You're going to see every quarterback who's a starting quarterback in football being, you know, around $50 million a year. They're kind of all around 40-ish right now. Again, the deal makes Purdy the 5th highest paid quarterback by total value, the 7th highest paid quarterback by annual average value. How you want to cut and measure your quarterback value, you go right ahead and do it whatever way you want to. All I know is that this is an absorbable deal between now and its end in 2030. We still don't have all the details. I guarantee you the Niners got a little bit of a walkaway number, walkaway moment somewhere baked into this thing after year 4. It's a good deal. Trying to frame it as a bad deal is basically an open public acknowledgement that you don't even understand how football teams are built or the business behind them. You sound as out of touch with the direction of football financials going forward as Mark Davis did when he was basically saying, you know, the Raiders can't be paying Khalil Mack $20 million a year on the defensive side of the football because over on the offensive side of the football, you got Derek Carr making $20 million a year. Now, this is not ancient football history. You know, this is a handful of seasons ago. Well, a little bit more than a handful, I guess, at this point. We're all moving quickly along the timeline here. But think about it. Derek Carr making $20 million put him at the top of that what quarterbacks are getting paid list. And right now, it's a bargain. So football does move that fast financially. And the whole concept of, well, because you're paying this percentage of the cap over on this side of the ball, you can't be paying that percentage of the cap over on that side of the ball. Look at how ridiculous this is now, where you're literally going to be having per position everyone but long snappers, punters, and kickers being eligible for a $20 million a year price point if you are indeed regarded as among the best at what you do. You're going to see this in running backs. You're seeing it in wide receivers. You're seeing it in second wide receivers. You are seeing it all over the defense right now. Fred Warner, if he gets re-extended here, is going to be making $23 million a year. That would make him the highest paid linebacker in all of football. What is Roquan Smith right now? Isn't that $20 million a year category? Shit, we just saw Myles Garrett take a defensive end all the way to $40 million to stay in Cleveland. So bigger numbers are coming everywhere. Brock's number, which you might think is big today, won't be 15 minutes from now. And it's really not that big right now either. It really isn't. This is technically a 6-year deal for Brock because all this money kicks in after this season where he's still playing for about $5 million. You factor all that in. Now you want to bring the annual average value down. It's about 45 if you really string it out through the entirety of it all. Again, people complaining about this don't understand the football stock market, don't understand football economics. I am hardly a stock market or football economics expert, but I understand an awful lot more about the business of football than I do the actual real world business. And it is all right now on a timeline that is accelerating like you would not believe. What used to take 10 years to happen in the sport of football now only takes 3 for an evolution, for a resetting of marketplaces and prices. There is a never-ending growth to football. And that includes the salary cap. That includes the value of the next TV contract, the next streaming operation that wants to buy off a piece of the NFL's product. You know, you probably weren't even thinking, well, how much money are they making on a standalone Black Friday game? Because they don't even have those. Now they do. That's more money right there. By the way, oi, oi, oi. Oi, oi, oi! As always, to the postman in Capitola who says, can we remind everyone that the salary goes up every year? This is a great deal. It is. It is. To react to this other than it fits, it works, is a public admission that you don't even understand how the machine is built. So stop trying to tell me when it's broken. You don't even know what it looks like when it's running right. So everybody needs to be Now, I thought that Khalil Mack trade was Gruden's brilliant idea. Well, it came, I'm sure, with marching orders from the top, Mark Davis. But yeah, this is John Gruden, having roster control at the time, thinking I can't do this because this is not how football is ever going to work. 5 minutes later, that's how football works. So what can't ever be today is something that happens tomorrow. And hello, everyone. Chef A is here. Zophmus is here. Again, Sporticus is here. San Bruno Mike. Leslie's here. Good to see all of you. Really, it is. It's always good to see you, my good friends. And speaking of my good friends, I wish I could take you all to Ike's for lunch today. I might even get you a Kelsey Plum. Look at that. That's one of the newest offerings. Kelsey Plum just brought the LA Sparks to the first win ever against the Valkyries. Did she not? I mean, the fact that I know that means the WNBA, it's officially working and growing, I guess. Look at that. There's a little fried chicken. There's some honey mustard. There's some barbecue sauce, a golden barbecue sauce, a purple slaw. That looks delicious. Go ahead and get a Kelsey Plum. I think the sandwich is called the KP Nasty. Do it over at Ike's today. Check out Ike's Catering. Check it out for your office. You'll be very, very happy that you did. Our good friends at the Dubliner. Where are you going to watch conference final games, Stanley Cup, NBA playoffs? Get yourself to the Dubliner in West Portal. Go tell Kenny and John that the Plus sent you. They love hearing that. I love you telling them that. They are with us for the remainder of the year. They're fabulous sponsors. It's a great bar. It's the most unassuming, simple, basic, awesome bar you will walk into this year. I promise you. Dubliner, West Portal, Muni drops you off right out front. How can you argue with that? And look, if you're making any plans to go anywhere this summer and you're a camper and you're in the state of California, that's the app I need you to look for. And here it is all spelled out for you. Campsitetonight.app. It's like hotels.com, but for campsites, starting in the state of California, expanding everywhere, hopefully soon. But this is my buddy's passion project who lives right across the street from me. I said, I want to help this grow. Download campsitetonight.app. Whether you're a camper or not, just do it for my man as he's building his company. I'm so proud of him. You know how much guts it takes to leave the job that is, been a point of security for you to go pursue something that is your passion? I respect that so much. I really, really do. So please go support my neighbor. Download Campsite Tonight. Support my friend and your own belly when you go to Ike's, and you'll be supporting your liver when you get to the Dubliner West Portal. So thanks so much to our sponsors. Again, have you hit like? Have you hit subscribe to join here? Us on the Plus. If you hit subscribe, you'll get more and more stuff. And hopefully you want more and more stuff and keep on coming back to hang out with one of the coolest chat rooms and audiences I think you're going to find anywhere on YouTube. We got a cool little club. We really do. I did go upstairs and refill this bad boy, and that is a sip of the day right there. That was fantastic. The carafe kept it nice and warm. Still looking good. Okay. What else we got? Albert Breer wrote a pretty interesting story about just how the Purdy deal was negotiated, the little steps along the way that both sides agreed. We need this. We don't need that, blah, blah, blah. Albert Breer said, the 49ers made the first move by asking Purdy's side to make a trip to Santa Clara for an initial negotiation session. Then the second meeting happened in so there's two rooms where most NFL business happens. Number one is the room at NFL corporate headquarters in New York City, somewhere on Madison Avenue. Wherever the commissioner's office is, I guess technically that room is the room where most NFL business happens. The second would be St. Elmo's Steakhouse in Indianapolis, because that's where everybody goes during the combine. Everybody in the NFL ends up at St. Elmo's at one point in time in their careers, in their football lives, as a coach, as a scout, as an agent. You're going to St. Elmo's whether you like it or not. So anyways, second meeting happened at St. Elmo's. In the first meeting, The Niners got their point across that this was not going to be a moment in time where they break NFL contractual records. You will not be passing Dak Prescott. We are not giving you a record-breaking deal. I could have seen how that would have, turned Purdy's agents inside off a little bit, but it did not, because there was no real expectation that would happen. And Purdy's side basically said they're not going to do a deal that doesn't have an awful lot of cash flow. In other words, money up front. And then we're going to worry about guaranteed money. And then everything else is the fluff. And the Niners said, okay, let's do that. As I have been saying for months with Kruger, with you, with anyone who would listen, when anyone tried to bring up, well, how unique and interesting the Brock Purdy conversation was going to be, and what a unique contract he was about to be offered, the entire time I've been telling you bullshit. Pick one of the 10 best quarterbacks in football, look at all of those contracts, and Brock Purdy's will align with one of them. The template that you need is already, the business has been done. Just change the name from who to Brock Purdy and have something similar, move some dollars and decimals around, and boom. That player was Jared Goff. That's what Albert Breer says. Purdy didn't want things to get ugly. He reported to the offseason program. That brought the unspoken acknowledgement that talks had gotten serious, with his representatives working together to get there, and then the deal was executed. The key points of this contract: Brock Purdy gets 62% of his money in the first 3 years. That tops cash flow in some of the more richer quarterback deals. The contract is $165 million plus in new money over the first 3 years, which just edged out the metric in Jared Goff's deal last year. That means he's going to get $170 million over the first 4 years of the deal. And Goff's deal was an important comparison because both sides saw it as one that A, did not break QB contract records, but B, took care of the player and his family in many unique and different ways. Again, I think this is where they added on the no trade. Okay, Jared Goff has one. You have one now too. I could see why Jared Goff would want the no trade after what happened to him in LA as well, getting traded to Detroit. Anyways, it's a very similar to Goff contract. That is the template. And boom. There you go. Easier than I think a lot of people expected. The Niners did very well for themselves in this contract. Brock Purdy did very well for themselves. Neither side decided to go to the mattresses and just go to war and have the hardest negotiation humanly possible, the way that Brandon Ayuk did. That did not happen. This entire process, beyond content creators and people who cover the team bitching about it and moaning about it, it was done with an awful lot of discretion. It was done kind of off the radar. It was announced in a Friday news dump. And here on a Monday, they're like, okay, so there's also a no trade, no big whoop. We'll see everybody when training camp opens. And they will have the vast majority of that team out on the field when training camp opens. That is good. This is officially good for the San Francisco 49ers, and I think trying to frame it any other way is an attempt to be right about your original point, which is I don't like Brock Purdy. But if you understand production that is either based in game day results, statistics, Purdy checks those boxes. And I think if you're looking for a reasonable contract, not giving him something so unreasonable, that box got ticked too by this. There is no world where Brock Purdy was about to come and do this for $30 million a year, and I would have liked him more at $30 million a year. I'm sure you would like that brand new Mercedes at $22,000 a year, but you ain't going to get it. It's just, that's not what they're selling for. This is not what Purdy's contracts are going for, or what quarterback contracts are going for. Thank you so much to 650 Look at putting $50 in the ganja jar. Well said, DB. Well, thank you very, very much. Well appreciated on your part, 650. Thank you. And all I can tell you is this. If we were playing the silhouette game, I'm just going to put up a shadow, put up a silhouette. You don't even know who it is. But inside of that silhouette, here is what you got. Here is who you're talking about. Let's forget his name. Let's just talk about what the silhouette has done. First of all, the silhouette is a 25-year-old, stable, married, good guy that was drafted by your team. So he's homegrown. He's been to a Super Bowl. He's been to 2 NFC title games. He wins a lot more than he loses in the regular season and in the postseason. In one of his 3 seasons, he led the league in passer rating and yards per attempt. He also ranked 3rd in the league in touchdown passes and 5th that season. He ranked 3rd in the league in touchdown passes, and he also set the franchise record for single season passing yardage. Since he joined the NFL, he's the highest passer rating in NFL history since he started playing in this league. Beyond that, and what everyone agrees was a down year for not just the team, but for him as well. What everyone agrees was a down year. Some of his numbers dropped slightly, not dramatically, and he still led the league in expected points added per dropback. This is EPA per dropback. And he would be dropping back and getting no points because this team stalled so often in the red zone. And if that was all on Brock, if that's your argument, I would suggest it was not all on Brock. Anyways, you know who is in that silhouette. If the person in that silhouette had been a complete malignant asshole, getting tug jobs from every masseuse that he ever met, they're still getting a monster contract. You put them all into the good guy. I mean, here's the thing. I think people mistake Purdy's calm, nice demeanor for weakness. And I just don't understand how he is so toxic, such a firebrand. And it must be brainwashing from, people who claim to cover their team are there every day, yet still have absolutely no idea what they are looking at or how any of it fits together or works. Again, how are you going to tell me this engine's running great when you can't even tell me how an engine is built? Must be trouble. Damon, what is a Valkyrie? A Valkyrie is from Norse mythology, and it is a female warrior who guides fallen Vikings to and through the gates of Valhalla. A Valkyrie is a badass woman warrior who escorts dead warriors to paradise. That's what a Valkyrie is. Here's the thing. I'll say this about the Valkyries. I think they got their logo right. If you like their colors, that's great. What the color does not play well when you give everyone a t-shirt with the same color. That color does not pop. It washes out. And when you have nothing wearing that lavender even in 4K HD looks like gray, and it kind of looks like empty seats. I don't think they should be doing everybody in the arena gets a Valkyrie t-shirt giveaways because it kind of grays out the arena a little bit too much, dulls it down. But they got great attendance for their first couple of games, the exhibition one and then the real one. And a Valkyrie is apparently a good investment for Joe Lacob and the Warriors to be making to fill up their building and have more people in there spending money on more nights of the year. That's what a Valkyrie really is. Carl, I love a Norse mention on the show. Salute to the Normans. Thank you, Carl. Carl, very, very helpful here to all we do on the Plus. He is back from he went on a New York trip, then he went on a snowboarding trip. Carl's getting around, baby. But whenever Carl's here watching the show, we know that the ensuing podcast that gets put up will have detailed timestamps in it. And we thank you so much, Carl, for everything you do. May Norse mythology be good for you. By the way, John Wallace says a Valkyrie woman is built beautifully. Yeah, I mean, those chicks are ripped. There's no fat Valkyries walking around, right? Yeah. All right. What else we got here? What else we got going on today? NFL owners are going to be meeting this week to officially now vote on the brotherly shove, the tush push. I know at the NFL owners meeting, they tabled that. I think they're going to come back to it this week. They're also going to talk about the possibility to reseed the postseason. Now, I'm going to tell you, I don't feel that strongly about it either way, but I do want to live in a world where a division championship matters. A division title matters. A division title gets you a home playoff game. I think that's the way it should work. I think football, sports, really always begins with, were you the best team in your neighborhood? Then were you the best team in your county? Then were you the best team in your state? And now we'll go to nationals and we'll play for the whole thing. Like, I think it's important to be the best team in your division to have earned a home game. Now, a lot of people say, look, geography doesn't matter quite like it used to. So being the best team in a, pretend geographical region doesn't mean as much as overall record in the age of, we can fly from one coast to the other in just 4.5 hours, 5 hours if you got the wind. And proximity doesn't matter quite like it used to. So just go beyond record. A guy whose opinion I really do respect, Warren Sharp, says he predicts the proposal to change playoff seeding will actually pass. And there are two key reasons. And like the NFL always, reasons anything, it's the reasons that it'll add more money. Because number one, week 18 would then become more meaningful as chasing overall win totals are more available at that point than probably chasing a division title. So you will have teams playing harder to the end of the year. By the way, let's say your team plays great throughout the year, especially against your own division, and you got a chance to rest starters in week 18, but now you might lose a home game out of it. You're going to hate this. Like, you had the NFC West all wrapped up, but now you got to play hair on fire football in week 18 because a team that is in third place in another division has a better record than you. I don't think I like that. There was a fan, an Eagles fan, who just shared a tweet, and I got to agree with it here, as we talk about all the, like a team loses in overtime, change the overtime rules. A team with a good record didn't get a home playoff game, well, then change the seeding rules. A team has an advantage running one play, the brotherly shove, the tush push, that the rest of the NFL can't compete with. What the Packers lost to twice, they feel bad about it. Change the rules. And the question was, why are we gonna keep accommodating the losers? Why do we have to change rules because some owner, some fan base, some team is upset that it lost in a way that wasn't cheating, wasn't against the rules, but you need new rules. So should that scenario present itself again, you won't have to lose by it. Like, I totally agree with that. Why are we accommodating the losers in this discussion? Warren Sharp says more people will watch week 18, which equals more profit. And number two, it'll make it more likely that a top two seeds reaches the conference championship game. Do we need that? Do we really need it? Is there a single NFC title game that I could come up with that you would not watch? What's the least sexy NFC title game out there? Would it be Panthers, Falcons? Would that be it? Like, I'm not trying to crap on either one of those. What's the least sexy, least nationally interesting NFC title game that you could have? How many hundreds of millions of people still watch that? I mean, I don't think that there is a single Super Bowl that would turn you off, a single AFC or NFC title game where you're going to be like, nah, not interested. It just doesn't happen. It does not happen. Now, when you look across other sports, and we'll get into, what's going on. And how about the baseball? You got a lot of teams coming from wild cards and winning things. So basketball, you got a lot of teams that had some of the best records who are just gone now. And in hockey, if you had a great record, you were out, basically. Regular season performances and postseason results no longer match up the way that they used to. There's no denying that. What is responsible for that across all of these sports? It's a lot of moving parts. So much so, I think it's hard to quantify it. Like, let's talk a little bit about the NBA conference finals that we got in front of us, right? So you got the Thunder winning Game 7 at home against the Nuggets on Saturday afternoon. Then we got Thursday, or no, it's Tuesday. Is it tomorrow? The Western Conference Finals begin tomorrow. Yeah, Tuesday in Oklahoma City, the Thunder host the Timberwolves. Thunder Timberwolves is an NBA regular season game you're probably not going out of your way to find or watch. But it's the Western Conference Finals. I'm in. I'm watching. You had me at Western Conference Finals. I don't care who qualifies. I'm there. Eastern Conference Finals start on Wednesday at Madison Square Garden. God help us all. Knicks versus Pacers. Bing Bong versus the Pacers. I mean, here's what we definitely know. We are in the parity era of the NBA Finals, because what used to be normal in the NBA is now there's something totally unique going on here. We're about to have a 7th different champion crowned over 7 seasons. That's basically unheard of in the NBA. 7 different champions, 7 years in a row. Going backwards, working back from what is about to happen, from who's ever going to be crowned champion next month. You have 3 teams that have never won a championship in their franchise's history. Don't tell me that the Thunder used to be the Sonics and the Sonics won one. It's a different thing now. These are not the Seattle Supersonics. So you have 3 franchises that have never won a championship, and the other is the New York Knicks, who have never won a championship in my lifetime. 1973, before I was born. It's been 52 years since the Knicks have won a championship. So we're about to get a first-time champ, or a champ that has not won a title in my lifetime. And you go, so that's whoever's going to win it this year comes from that group. And then you go backwards. It's Celtics, Nuggets, Warriors, Milwaukee Bucks, Lakers in the bubble, Raptors before that. I mean, that is a level of next team up parity, not repeating, that we normally do not see in basketball. Does it make me like basketball less? Does it make me like basketball less that only the Oklahoma City Thunder, okay, they had the best record in the NBA. The Knicks were 5th. The Pacers were 8th. Minnesota was 10th. I'm not dying for the NBA's regular season team with the second best record to be in the conference finals. I really don't care. It's who gets hot at the right time. That second season now really matters. When it comes to regular season success just being completely spat upon by the playoffs, nothing is more a dramatic example of that than hockey right now. The Dallas Stars are 5th, Edmonton was 9th, Carolina was 10th, Florida was 11th. Only one team among the 4 best remaining in the NBA or NHL had a great regular season. The Oklahoma City Thunder 100% deserve to be in the Western Conference Finals based on what happened during the regular season. The rest of you are crashing the party. In the NHL, it's even more dramatic than that. These, by the way, are Stanley Cup playoffs that only a mother or a diehard hockey fan could love. The East Finals, which start on Tuesday, you got the Panthers at the Hurricanes. So, Florida hammered Toronto in Game 7. The Maple Leafs going deep into the playoffs is what the NHL's been dying to give you for years. It just won't happen. Toronto won't score more than a goal in any Game 7 that they've seen. You got Oilers and Stars in the West Finals, but it's the NHL Final Four that very few people will love. First of all, Panthers, they're from Florida, not Carolina, like in the NFL. So Panthers from Florida, not Carolina. Then you got the Hurricanes, who are not from Miami, Florida, but are actually from Carolina. So you've got confusing teams, not high-profile teams coming out of the East. And in the West, it's the Oilers from Edmonton. The vast majority of Americans have no idea where Edmonton even is on a Canadian map. They're going to say, well, that's somewhere around Gretzkyville. That's where it is. And then you got Dallas. People are going to be saying, how is Dallas in the Stanley Cup? Didn't they just trade Luka? Is Cooper Flagg that good? He's already got Dallas in the Stanley Cup Finals? Like, I don't even think people know that the Dallas Stars even really exist or care that much about them. So it's certainly not a tailor-made around major hockey cities finals at all. But I'll be watching. I'll be there on a flip back because A, I like sports. B, it's on my TV. That's all you really need to suck me in. I'll be there. Normally at this point in the NBA season, you got a lot of experience out there on the court, guys who have done it before and will show the other players the way. This is such an inexperienced Final Four in the NBA. There are only 6 players in the conference finals who have actually already won an NBA championship. Pascal Siakam in 2019, OG Anunoby in 2019, Alex Caruso in 2020, Dante DiVincenzo in 21, PJ Tucker in 21, and Thomas Bryant in 2023. You've got a couple of Hoosiers in OG Anunoby and Thomas Bryant facing off here in this round. Let's go Knicks Pacers. It's gonna be fun. I'm in. But a whole bunch of new guys and new plays. To me, it's good for sports. I like it. I really do. Rivalries, good for sports as well, obviously. And there used to be the Bay Bridge rivalry, which is now being called the I-80 Rivalry. Okay. I guess you'll eventually call it the Southwest Airfare to Las Vegas rivalry, if the A's ever actually even make it there. All I can tell you is that the Giants swept the A's in the 3 different ways you can really go about sweeping a team. Wilmer homered 3 times on Friday in a 9-1 romp. Then you got a shutout win for the Giants in Game 2 of the series, and then a 1-run 3-2 good old-fashioned National League game. It's interleague, obviously. To complete the sweep, Ramos, go-ahead RBI. He also homered in Sunday's win over Sacramento. West Sacramento. West Sac. Screw John Fisher. Verlander's walking too many dudes. He's still looking for his first win of the year. He's probably not happy that he's more games into a major league season without touching the win column than he's ever been in his life. But here he is. He needs to pitch better if he wants that win. The Giants are now 16-7 at home. They're 9 games over 500. They're better than anybody probably thought that they would be. As a matter of fact, only 4 teams in all of baseball have more wins than the San Francisco Giants have right now. It's the Dodgers, Mets, Yankees, and Tigers. All of them are on freaking heaters. We're not really talking about the heater that the Giants are on, but the Giants, they're playing good baseball. They just swept the A's. Here come the Kansas City Royals. Got to take 2 out of 3 against them, I would hope, and keep on winning at home. Giants are interesting, more interesting than we thought. By the way, Robbie Ray is like throwing Cy Young ball up there. He's 6-0 with a 3.04 ERA. He's scheduled to pitch in the first of a 3-game set against the Kansas City Royals this evening. So little baseball to watch for you. And then we got Western Conference Finals in the NBA and Eastern Finals in the NHL starting on Tuesday with the other series starting on Wednesday. It should be a really good, fun sports week. And we want to jam as much as we can into the next few days because on Friday, I'm taking off to Tahoe with the family for a little Memorial Day weekend getaway. Should be an awful lot of fun. We got friends who got a place up in Tahoe, said, come on up. And we said, yeah, we'll do that. Thank you so very, very much. Yeah, I missed the Let's Go Giants, Let's Go Oakland chants at Oracle Park in the Coliseum for the A's and Giants matchup. I mean, I still hear Let's Go Oakland chants at games up in Sacramento, right? I mean, there's no reason why that needs to stop at all. By the way, thank you, San Bruno. Mike, the I-80 rivalry, give me a break. Both these teams need to show up in order to qualify. Yeah, I mean, yeah, don't try to make something out of it that isn't there anymore. There used to be a real geographical rivalry, but there isn't now. I mean, again, are the Warriors, now that they've won things and actually have a trophy case, and Kings rivals, really? I mean, based on geographic proximity, a little bit, I guess, but no, it never really felt like Warriors and Kings were rivals. Rawr. I mean, when the Warriors sucked as bad as the Kings, it was like watching 2 kids wearing dunce caps fight with poop socks. Yeah, that was interesting. But, you know, rivals, yeah, we're pushing it a little. I think we've pushed this show as far as it officially needs to go. Thank you so very much for watching. We do have a little today in history for you, and I can also promise you this. You've been asking for it. I see some of you think it's gone, will not return. Nonsense. Thursday, Club Plus is back open at the end of the show. We will be Club Plusing. We will be day drinking. We will be having fun on Thursday at the end of the show. So Club Plus is open on Thursday. Dress accordingly. The dress code is no pants. Have fun with that. Again, the entire show happens from the waist up. So I won't be wearing pants. You won't know. You won't be wearing pants. I won't know. But we'll all together know we're not wearing pants. And in some weird way, it'll be reassuring. Look at Club Plus. Yes. See? I mean, come on. Grease up the disco ball. I mean, how would you even know it was Club Plus unless that thing were squeaking? Like, to know it's a handwritten letter from me, you're going to want some words misspelled. That way you know it definitely came from me. SF Indigo, I wear pants in the shower. That's what I'm talking about. At least your pants are clean. Chef A, oh, yes. Oh, yes. Are safety meetings in order for Thursday's Club Plus? Yes, absolutely. I want you to get into Club Plus as safely as you possibly can. Smiley Dan, help with the safety if you would, please. All right, are you ready? It's a big today in history. We have a landmark cinematic event to truly celebrate here at the end. But we begin with happy birthdays. Happy birthday to Hall of Famer Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett was a hell of a basketball player, and as a guy who just says what he really believes, he's kind of an interesting guy post-career too. Kevin Garnett, not afraid to tell you what's on his mind. He's 49 years old. Happy birthday, Kevin Garnett. Happy birthday to Grace Jones. Grace Jones, still one of the sexiest humans on the planet. Grace Jones, 76 years old. Happy birthday, by the way, to Pete Townsend of The Who. 80 years old today for Pete Townsend. He's windmilling somewhere right now. Come on. Pete Townsend. Not only did Pete Townsend play a huge, huge role in one of the seminal rock bands of all time, Pete Townsend also recorded one of the most consumable, can't argue with it, always reach over to turn it up pop songs of all time. I think Let My Love Open the Door is a phenomenal song. It's one of the best pop songs ever. Who doesn't like Let My Love Open the Door? Let My Love Open the Door. Like, seriously, when this show's over, Google My Love Open the Door by Pete Townsend. Listen to that's as catchy a pop song as you're going to have all day. Great song. Pete Townsend. My man. Today in 1536, Anne Boleyn had her head cut off by Henry VIII. I've been to the spot where it happened, the Tower of London. They chopped that poor woman's head off right there. No reason other than Henry was a little sick of her. Accused her of a whole bunch of things she probably didn't do. Either way, that's the world we used to live in. Don't like your wife? Forget about divorce. Behead her. So, gals out there, it's getting better. Today in 1845, English explorer John Franklin had an ill-fated expedition to find the Northwest Passage. He thought that they could take an icebreaker and go through the North Pole. Well, that didn't happen because his ships, which were named the Erebus and Terror, appropriately so, they set sail from London. Both ships later became trapped in the ice. Everybody died. Bang up job, everyone. Today, in 1884, we're going back in time. Today in 1884, Ringling Brothers opened a very small circus in Baraboo, Wisconsin. On this day in 1884, and by the early 20th century, that would transform into the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus, leading to the American Circus, which at that point in time in America was one of it was like the Taylor Swift Eras Tour. The Ringling Brothers Circus was huge. It would be impossible to try to explain to you how big the circus was in America. Now, we don't even do circuses anymore because people are like, this is cruel to animals. What are we doing? We can't do this. It's like SeaWorld, but it moves. Don't do it. Let's not do this anymore. And we don't do it anymore. But at the time, and for a moment, there was something charming and wonderful and very America about the circus. And Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey was a monster. I've actually been to the museum in Sarasota. I went and visited my mother. There ain't shit to do in Sarasota, but go to St. Armand Circle and then go to the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus Museum. And it's incredible. It's really cool. All right. We fast forward to our lifetimes here. Because today in 1980, Mount St. Helens in Washington erupted with a 5.1 magnitude, causing a massive avalanche and shockwave that killed 57 people. That was a monster. I remember being 5 years old and seeing the footage of Mount St. Helens erupt. A guy who was a volcanologist named David Johnson was studying Mount St. Helens from 6 miles away when it erupted. He made a transmission stating, Vancouver, Vancouver, this is it. And then radio silence. Because in the 6 miles, he sees it go in the shock wave, the sound wave, whatever it was, the landslide, the boom of that moment. He was able to get out, Vancouver, Vancouver, this is it. His body was never recovered. Everyone who was around there, again, 57 people wiped out by that moment at Mount St. Helens. So there you go. That was a big moment, right? Vancouver, this is it. It was not good. Finish the coffee. Outstanding. I never really watched the show. I did a little, not much. Really wasn't aiming at me as a target audience. But in 1998, Murphy Brown ended on CBS, the final episode of Murphy Brown. Candice Bergen had her moment there. Candice Bergen, I don't want to say among the original MILFs, but Candice Bergen, beautiful woman, very funny, great. She was great in that role. I think she won a lot of Emmys for it. So there you go. I know a lot of people did like Murphy Brown. Ended today in 1998, but much more important than that. Much more important than any other thing I've even told you about is that today, 36 years ago, the pinnacle of cinema was released. Roadhouse. The ultimate guys movie. One of the single greatest, this movie is, you can argue how bad it is, but not while you're enjoying every minute of it. Roadhouse lives in a universe that makes no sense and a lot of sense all at once. I mean, how often do you get to live directly across the neighbor from your sworn enemy, get to watch their pool parties with, an awful lot of anxiety, do your Tai Chi directly across from your enemy, then rip out a throat in the river that separates you from your enemy? It's amazing. This is a movie that they tried to remake it. They did it no justice. They did it no justice. This is Patrick Swayze at peak Swayziness. A lot of people will tell you, well, the peak role obviously is Dirty Dancing. Nonsense. Roadhouse. One of the ultimate dude movies ever, of all time. It's even got Jeff Healey in it, the Jeff Healey Band. His name is Dalton. Incredible movie. San Bruno Mike says, wait a minute. Roadhouse? That's Meathead Central. Yet it is also a thinking man's movie. Brad Wesley, a legendary prick villain. Oh, absolutely. When he's swerving all over the road, if life could be a dream, shaboop, shaboop. Come on. It's just incredible. Roadhouse is, again, there's never been a movie quite like it. There's never been a movie that is on its surface more preposterous and insane and stupid, and this could never happen, yet it all works. It all fits. And somehow, some way, it actually holds up. There's not a lot of things from 36 years ago that really hold up. Roadhouse does. Roadhouse holds up in terms of guys movies as much as The Godfather holds up in terms of mob movies. It's an A+ and an F- all at once. Finally, the last bit of news to let you know about in terms of history. Today in 2018, Prince Harry married Meghan Markle at St. George's Chapel and Windsor Castle. The ceremony, unlike any previous British royal wedding, mixed pomp and circumstance with African-American culture, and the latter celebration of the bride's biracial background. Yeah, I really don't remember much of that other than people complaining about it, and then the two of them basically ending royalty's popularity kind of as we know it. Now, there's a lot of things that went into that. The death of Princess Di, the concept of royalty just being preposterous in modern society. The two of them basically said this is kind of nuts, and you thought, geez, we might actually like them. And then no, two decidedly somewhat unlikable people, and there's no real saving them. Like, nobody really wants. South Park did an episode on them that was fantastic. The World Privacy Tour. Yeah, we want privacy. We're going to go on a 50-city, private jet privacy tour to tell you about how much we want our privacy. How much media can we do to beg you for our privacy? Douchebags. Either way, happy anniversary to them. And that's it. That is your show. It was great hanging out with you today. Would you please, before you leave, hit thumbs up? Would you hit like? Would you hit subscribe? Would you think about becoming a member? Would you think about maybe, just maybe picking up some merch? I mean, did you see these t-shirts? Have you seen this coffee mug? Some of you have already gone ahead and supported the channel by doing just that. Check it on out. I would appreciate it if you did. Thank you so very much for watching today. We'll be back at it at 11 a.m. Again, interesting things happening around the Blues, getting some ideas for the upcoming football season, how that might go, trying to book a few guests, getting you ready for all that and how that might go, more videos coming. Everything that we could do to get this channel to grow, we will be doing it. Thank you for your support. Thank you to Ike's. Thank you to the Dubliner West Portal. Thank you to Campsite Tonight. Thank you to everyone who dropped a super on us today. And thank you, all of you, my good friends, for being here. And the only thing I can tell you is that sports don't build character. They reveal it. And like that, he's gone.